Hey guys, Coach Kurt. So let's talk about striking for grapplers. And let me make something clear. I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't learn more striking techniques than what we're going to cover in this video. Something like Muay Thai, etc., mixed martial arts gym. This is for people who want to incorporate striking into their grappling for self-defense. And I'm going to cover the covering up either with the long guard or the shell up or elbow shield. And those are my two favorite entry level ways of teaching the how to protect yourself. And we're also going to talk about distance management using with what I call stop hits or entry strikes or defensive strikes. And you just saw my favorite on the screen right now. That was the teep, the lead leg teep, which is a push kick or a jab kick with the lead leg versus the power from the rear leg. And here we're going to cover more of that. But I have found this kick to be extremely helpful in multiple situations to keep them from entering into your space, basically framing off with a strike. And this is to keep them from getting into your comfort zone. As a grappler, you decide the distance management, and this is a drill I like to show, basically a jab cross drill. They frame out with their arms in a triangle position, and you practice the entry by tapping the shoulder, going in for like a double leg entry or a body lock. But you also see on screen the typical Hoist Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, kind of like a stomp kick. That is a bare minimum necessity. I think all grapplers should have that basic lead leg stomp down because it's a great way to create a space or stop them from entering, or from that yardstick effect where you are measuring the entry into the clinch range. You see that top right. In the main screen, you're seeing Coach Amanda. She is a Muay Thai and boxing coach. She's one of my fellow control tactics instructors, and we were practicing. I'm giving her what I call bad guy energy, where I'm not like going in on her with like grappling skills or striking skills, but I'm doing the big athletic brute street attack type entry and letting her do her distance management training. And she's doing a phenomenal job as a striker because that's her strong point of using her strikes to get in, do her damage, and then get out. And that is from a striker's point of view to dabble in grappling. This video is more or less about how grapplers are going to dabble in striking to supplement their grappling. Now, again, I'm not suggesting you shouldn't go to an MMA gym and practice, Muay Thai influenced or MMA influenced Muay Thai or other striking systems. If you have the time and energy to incorporate that kind of time into your training, absolutely terrific. And I recommend that you do some stand-up sparring and sparring into the clinch range. Not necessarily always for the takedown, but sparring into the clinch range. And on screen, I'm using a lot of my favorite strikes to either stop them from entering or allowing me to do a yardstick entry. Yardstick meaning I'm measuring off the distance and then stopping them from advancing as I'm entering. It's also a way to distract them, or kazushi, to off balance. But I love the low line kicks to the thigh, to the knee, to the shin. I have the Hapkido background, but at 53 with bad knees and a bad hip, plus the concept of it being street oriented or self-defense oriented, or in my case, law enforcement oriented control tactics, law enforcement combatives, Taiho Jitsu, because that's what I do. I like to use those low distracting kicks to off balance, to keep them from moving in and get their attention going someplace else. And with that low line kick to the thigh, that allows that a lot of times will stun them, incapacitate them, keep them from entering for that split second. That split second it takes for you to measure off and make your entry to your body lock. And the body lock is, generically speaking, the clinch range, into the clinch. You're going for your double underhooks and you're clinching, and you're doing so in a protective manner with the elbow shield, or what I call the long guard or flinch response entry I call it instinct-based tactics. And here you see me on screen practicing with Val. She is a student I had a couple years back when I was at a different duty station, and I'm teaching her that concept now, where she's using the kick now. She's using the rear leg kick because that's more comfortable for a lot of people when they're first learning how to kick. I prefer the lead leg because, as you can see, it gives you more distance. It's also sneakier. And in that example, I just showed how I'm using the kick to create distance and then go to my bat belt. In law enforcement, you have your gear, your baton, your pepper spray, your taser. Or the opposite direction, you're going in. And the big keep it simple stupid is another reason I like these concepts. Here's John Jones, who was a master at this. Now, he was a master kicker in general, regardless of what you're talking about, but he was famous for that oblique kick and that stomp kick, low line stuff to keep people off of him, to distract and create that temporary oh shit moment. What just happened? It gets their mind someplace else. It changes their balance. It changes their posture. It takes that moment of aggression out of their attack, and it gives you time to move in and do your body lock, do your takedown. And here I am practicing those exact techniques on the bag. It's especially helpful in control tactics or Taiho Jitsu. You're wearing the duty belt, and these low line kicks are just a lot simpler to teach the masses. To when I'm teaching multiple officers this kind of stuff, most of them do not have do not have martial arts experience, and these low line kicks are a great way to teach them distance management. Also, distracting to give you time to get to your tools or transition. I'm big about teaching transition drills, going from your taser to your baton to your pepper spray, and getting them used to that transitioning, because quite a few times officers don't practice those transition drills. And a great way to buy that second you need to get to your gear is that lead leg teep, push kick, or lead jab, or palm strike, and then move, relocate. Don't be where you were when you first struck the individual. You saw Hoist Gracie use it quite a bit in the early UFC. He used that as a measuring stick. He did more of a stomp kick, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Gracie Jiu-Jitsu method of doing it. But in a more advanced, or I wouldn't say more advanced, but a little more technical way of doing it as I'm showing it on screen. Again, I like to be squared off. Most grapplers tend to be more squared up to their opponent because you're blocking the takedown attempts where you're sprawling, but you're also able to use the long guard or the elbow shield that I push so much when either entering or defending the entry. As somebody's coming into you, and you elbow shield using those elbows almost like a rhino horn, stabbing them in the chest and making the entry. But I think I've beat a dead horse. You get the idea. If you are a grappler, I suggest you practice these entries. Most Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu schools don't do this kind of stuff. They're sport-oriented, but maybe you're a catch wrestler. Maybe you do wrestling. Maybe whatever, judo. These are the kind of strikes you should be incorporating into your game so you have your self-defense oriented striking. You do not have to become a striking master. You do not have to become the next Muay Thai world champion or Golden Gloves boxer, but you need to have a minimum skill as far as striking as a way of preventing people from entering your space, because as a grappler, you want to be the one making the decision on when to enter and when not to enter. All right, guys, everybody take care. Stay safe. Please like, subscribe, and share.
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out.